bring him down.
What's going on, Guardians? It's Dizzle here, and in this video, I'm showcasing the best anti-champion weapon of this season, and that is Polaris Lance. Now, you might think I'm crazy because scout rifles aren't even featured on the artifact this season, but Polaris Lance is able to easily deal with two types of champions thanks to some mods on the artifact. I mean, just look at the background gameplay. It is nuts how good this thing is. So, if you don't know about intrinsic ways to stun champions, then I suggest checking out my videos I have made on this topic. These detail every way to stun champions in the game, and if you are familiar with things like Radiant getting inherent anti-barrier, then let's take a look at what we have going on here to make Polaris Lance the best exotic primary in the game for this season. Actually, before we do that, let's quickly look at Polaris Lance first. It has the exotic perk the Perfect Fifth, where precision hits return ammo to the magazine, and landing 4 precision hits loads a delayed solar explosive round for your next shot. And finally, the catalyst for this weapon gives it Dragonfly. Then, if we look at the Destiny Data Compendium, it says the solar round deals 40 Scorch at base and 20 more Scorch with Ember of Ashes. So now that we know that with Ember of Ashes equipped, we stack 60 stacks of Scorch to a target, and if we do this twice, it will cause an ignition. I have a full video breaking down everything you need to know about Scorch stacking, so you may want to check that out because solar is insanely strong this season. Anyways, we have established that you want to hit crits with Polaris Lance, and if you do, you never have to reload. So that brings us to the artifact mod Flint Striker, where rapid precision hits and rapid weapon final blows with a solar weapon will give us Radiant. And the Radiant buff lasts for 10 seconds, and we can keep re-proccing it if we keep landing crits. Once again, the fine folks at the Destiny Data Compendium have broken down the numbers, and it states a weapon with 12 to 15 in the mag will take 4 crits. So after 4 crits, we will get Radiant, and the 5th crit will be the perfect 5th shot. But here is where things get absolutely wild. The next artifact perk we use is Kindling Trigger. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. The compendium says this is 30 stacks of Scorch at base, and 15 more with Ember of Ashes. So as long as we run Ashes, we can get 45 stacks from Kindling Trigger, and then 60 stacks of Scorch from Polaris Lance. That equals 105 Scorch, which is just enough to ignite a target. Now, Kindling Trigger only applies if the target is already not scorched, but what is cool is when you ignite a target, all stacks of Scorch are removed. So if you reapply the Kindling Trigger at the same time as the perfect 5th shot, you can just keep proccing ignitions over and over. You can see in the background gameplay how ridiculously strong this is. This is in a Master Nightfall, and these servitors just get shredded, by a primary no less. And then we have the final column artifact perk, Rays of Precision. While Radiant, solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. So on smaller tier red bar enemies, as long as we are Radiant, if we kill them with a crit, it will cause an ignition. So Polaris Lance is able to cause ignitions on high health single targets or low health minor enemies. Suffice to say, that is a lot of ignitions. Last season I made a build video showcasing Dawn Chorus and some crazy Scorch stacking that you can do with it. This season, the Scorch damage isn't nearly as much, but the ignitions are far more plentiful. I have my full clear of the Master Nightfall up on my channel if you want to see the build in action, and subscribe so you don't miss future crazy build videos like that one. I tweaked the Dawn Chorus setup this season to be even better, so I might make a video to show that. So be sure to hit the bell so you don't miss the full breakdown. Anyways, back to Polaris Lance, we aren't even done. Because it can self-proc ignition, this means it is capable of stunning unstoppable champions as well. Again, I ran the whole Battleground Nightfall without a single anti-champion weapon on. All you need is Polaris Lance, and it is perfect for this Nightfall in particular, as a lot of the battles are at long range. So this weapon will be a powerhouse when the GM comes out, especially in solo play when you have to play a bit more carefully. So I just wanted to break down what artifact mods are working together to make Polaris Lance so freaking strong. And Bungie, please don't nerf this. It is only this strong because of Flint Striker allowing us to proc Radiant with the weapon itself. Without that mod, we would need Ember of Torches to give us Radiant whenever we want anti-barrier rounds. And speaking of that, I didn't even run Ember of Torches on this build. I solely relied on Flint Striker, and it worked amazingly. That being said, I am super annoyed that you still can't hit crits on barrier knights when their shield is up. You can on barrier servitors, so why not on knights? It literally almost made me die on this run because I couldn't get my 4th crit, and you can't keep hitting crits when they shield. However, on the barrier servitors, you can hit crits over and over, which really showed off just how good this combination can be. So if you're still watching the video, then please report this issue to Bungie on the help forums. You used to be able to hit crits on knights many seasons ago. I'm not really sure when this changed, but it's really annoying. It was annoying in Devil's Lair last season, and it's super annoying this season. Because if you don't keep hitting crits, you will lose your Radiant from Flint Striker, and the timer is pretty tight for hitting your crits back to back. You can't miss too many. Now for the final amazing thing about this weapon is because it causes ignitions, it is great for stunlocking bosses. You can see me stunlock the boss of the Nightfall, and that is really helpful as he moves around and goes behind cover, which forces you to move up, which can be dangerous. It also stunlocks champions. Again, this is super helpful. Barrier servitors and barrier knights like to blink and roll to cover, so being able to keep them in one place is excellent. And it also does crazy damage for a primary. This is great because it allows you to keep your ammo reserves topped up on your special and heavy. And it is an exotic primary, so it gets a 40% damage bonus to red bar adds. This frees you up to run something like a machine gun for ad clear because you don't need something like a linear fusion rifle for champion and boss damage. And if you run heavy ammo finder, exotic primaries drop lots of heavy if you are getting lots of kills with them. So yeah, this is a lot of benefits for just one gun. Anyways, that is pretty much it for the video. I think I have extensively covered just how amazing this scout rifle is, and this season it is better than ever. Happy ignition triggering, and take care.